Welcome to GCCars. My name is Eric.
And I'm Jesse.
And it's the all-new 2023 Honda Accord.
All right, 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid.
Top trim, all-new generation. I tested, you weren't here then, the last generation last year, and generally pretty much liked it. So this is all new interior, new exterior. Let's see if it's good. Shall we do that?
Yes, we shall. Let's start with the exterior.
Yes, so I am very confused by this.
Yeah, it's one of those cars where, I mean, if you took off that Honda badge and we asked you guys to guess what car, what brand it was, you'd probably have a hard time figuring it out.
Yeah, so I like how it looks. First, like,
it's
just
not
for the
a bad
record,
looking
I like how this looks, but we've tested 3 different Hondas in 3 weeks right now, so not on your channel, but like in actuality. And they all new designs, and they're all vastly different.
Different design language.
Like the CR-V was kind of like more this elegant, but still like brawny.
Right.
This is very smooth, and then you had the Pilot, which was very rugged. So it's like, I don't know where Honda is trying to move, but there's no brand identity right now. This looks good. It's just could be it could be German. You said it has German vibes.
Looking at the profile of this car, I was doing it 10 minutes ago, and I was like, I feel like there's design cues taken from like 5 different brands here, like a little bit of Volkswagen, a little bit of Audi, a little bit of like Tesla with the tail lights.
Yeah, it looks like a mix out of everything. It's kind of a bit like a generic car. Like I said, I like how it looks.
Not trying to hate on it.
Yeah, but I feel like we just got to wait a few years and see if Honda kind of takes this styling onto everything else. The color is really nice, radiant red metallic. It's an optional color, and like I said, I like how this looks. It's very smooth. At first, I was a bit skeptical, but once you kind of see it in person, it's actually really nice. We got 19-inch wheels right here, which I think they're the same as the previous gen. I think they look good. But 19-inch wheels is kind of too big because we're gonna talk about that later on in the driving segment. You mentioned the profile is not very Honda.
It's a nice little slope here. I like the slope actually.
The slope is nice.
This part of the taillight, to me, that's like a Model 3. Almost
I can
100%.
see an S or a 3 in there. Yeah, it looks like I get it. Yeah. Whatever. And the rear is completely smooth. Like completely smooth, pretty much.
That Honda logo is comically small, but that's just like a little nitpick. But
I honestly don't mind it. We're just confused.
Yes.
I think we both like how it looks.
Yes.
It's just, it doesn't say Honda anywhere. Well, I mean, except, you know what I mean. Shall we take a look at the interior?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little more Honda.
We'll be a little less confused.
Yeah. Alrighty. Honda Accord interior. This is not much different than the CR-V.
No.
Or the HR-V or the Civic. This is for the most part pretty much the same, so I think we can be fairly quick about that. So first of all, usability is really good. We have physical HVAC, once again, very satisfying. Clackety click noises. We do have a new infotainment.
It is nice. It's pretty responsive.
Yeah, it's responsive. It's a bigger screen. It's definitely nicer. And as you can see, we have Google Maps and Google Assistant, Alexa, all that integrated now. So you don't need Android Auto and Apple CarPlay for that. You can log in with your Google and have it right there. I like this. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay still wireless if you want it, but Honda decided for the new infotainment to scrap Sirius XM satellite radio, which kind of sucks because everybody else offers it. And yes, you can get it through your phone, but if you're in the middle of nowhere, getting something through your phone that's supposed to be satellite usually isn't really, it's kind of like,
for me, not a big deal. I use Spotify, but
yeah, I'm a big enjoyer of Sirius XM, sponsor us by the way. So that's kind of a bit annoying for me because I like to use it quite a lot. Gauge cluster is the same digital one that we usually have. Works well, is okay. Materials though,
materials,
quite nice.
Yeah, everything, pretty much everything here is soft touch. There's like 1 or 2 little spots that are hard plastic, but generally nice. Obviously, I hate the piano black.
It's always in the worst spot.
But yeah, there's a lot of touch points here with piano black, but again.
But yeah, I like the leathers, or the leather red, whatever it is in the end. Feels really good everywhere, like especially on the center console when you put your elbow on it.
Yep.
Very nice and comfy.
Steering wheel feels nice as well.
Steering wheel is nice, very easy to control, heated steering wheel,
nice
big center console.
Box.
But
the seats.
This is the usual Honda complaint I have, except for the Pilot. The Pilot, great seats, I like that one. But these are quite frankly...
Eric hates them more than I do, actually.
Yeah. I think I might be unlucky because I might have the exact wrong proportions for Honda seats, but these are the most uncomfortable seats I've ever been in. They're so bad that after, no matter what I do, tried different positions after like 20 minutes. I got lower back pain in here. These are so bad I couldn't own this car. Mileage may vary.
I didn't
Sitting
have that
Accord-
issue. They're not the most comfortable seats. Maybe they're just not made for children. I don't know. It could be that. But no, they're not the best seats in the world. I agree with him. I do tend to want to slide down a bit in them.
Yeah, there's just no lower back support in these. And even if you put the lumbar all the way out, which you don't have lumbar on the passenger side.
No.
You cannot go up on the passenger side, as in pretty much all the Hondas. So, yeah, you just, if that's an issue, just go to your local Honda dealer and do like an hour, 2 hour test drive. You'll figure out if that's an issue for you. For me, it is the deal breaker because they're so bad. But we got heated and ventilated.
And we did realize that we were wondering why the ventilated wasn't so powerful.
Yeah.
They're really half ventilated because only the
cushion
is ventilated, not your back.
Which is kind of like more the important part because like that's where I get hot on the back and where I want to have the ventilation. So yeah, we have half ventilated seats, that explains why we never were happy with ventilated seats in Honda. So it's a correction, guys. This part has a tiny little fan in there. It's
so barely noticeable. And then
it's like 2 degrees colder.
And the actual cushion itself, only the center has a fan. The outside does not have a fan.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest. I think they're just adding that to kind of.
We've used them in the summer. They don't do anything really.
It's a stat pattern.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. But you got heated in the front. You got heated in the back.
And speaking of the back,
it's actually pretty spacious.
Yeah, it's good.
If you're well over 6 feet, you're going to have a problem back there because I'm around 5'10". I've got a few inches of headroom left. So if you're like 6'3" plus, it's a little tight, but again, it's a sedan.
Exactly. You can't really do much at that point. Materials are pretty much the same as in front, so quite nice. We have USB-Cs, just like in front, 2 USB-Cs right here.
And 2 in the back.
Like you said, heated seats on the side. Really, my only complaint is that the driver's side rear passenger doesn't get like a little pouch. I don't know why they didn't like just give us the pouch. It's not a deal breaker. If I have anything or some snacks, I'll just put them into the passenger side like pouch. But it's just the tiny little things. Lastly, trunk is actually quite generous. Like the Accord has a lot of space, 16.7 cubic feet as is, and it's very nice and wide. The opening is fairly low. You can really fit everything in here that you need.
Do we have a pass-through here?
Yeah, and we do have a pass-through. So even if you need more space, just plop down those second row of seats, and you can get a lot of space. Now the Accord is very practical in that regard. But this is a hybrid. Does it get good fuel economy? Does it drive nice? Shall we find out?
Let's go.
All right. On the road in the 2023 Honda Accord. Let's see how quick this beast goes. Oh, ECVT.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounds horrible. But honestly, it's actually quite reasonably quick. I mean, it's a hybrid, right? It's not meant to be sporty. But
204 horsepower, 247 foot-pounds of torque, ECVT transmission, gives you 0 to 100 in 6.6 seconds.
Yeah, which honestly, totally adequate. I have no problem with that. This 2-liter 9.4, made it with an electric motor that has a 1.1 kilowatt hour battery powering it, is a carryover from the last gen Honda Accord.
That is a big crow. Just a sidetrack. Wow.
Oh wow.
That's huge.
That's huge.
That thing is on steroids.
Wow, that's crazy.
Back on track.
Yes, back on track. So this is a carryover from the previous generation, and just like then, I like this. I like this. This is not dynamic. This is not necessarily sporty. You have the power that you need, but other than that, it's smooth. In the city, you're not going to floor it like we just did when you hear that horrible.
That was a
CVT
terrible sound.
And but yeah, honestly, I don't have a problem with this. And right now, our average fuel economy is 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers. But that is with idling.
With a lot of idling.
A very long time. Usually, I get like just right around 5 liters per 100 kilometers in here combined. But in the city, you can charge your hybrid system. And that's when I find it really nice is when you start kind of with the electric motor. It has that smoothness and that instantaneous torque that we know from electric cars. So I genuinely enjoy how this drives from a drivetrain perspective.
Time for our patented classic handling test?
Yes. Time for our handling test. We're going to put her right back into sport because that's what the Honda Accord is made for.
And I get to test the rigidity of these
we'll see.
As well.
One day you'll probably have one in your hand. We'll see. And other than that, traction stability control, we'll leave it as is.
Here we go.
Here we go. So on the road, which I got to work around. And it drives really nice, actually.
Not much to complain about there.
Exactly. I had to take a bit of a weird line because there was something on the road which I had to kind of like drive across. Having done some handling tests on this, I like it actually. It is just like the previous gen Accord, actually quite capable dynamically. It's not fun to drive. The steering is entirely numb.
Yes.
As you already noticed, there's no feedback through this, but there's plenty of grip and the steering weights up nicely if you try to drive a little bit more dynamically. With that being said, do we want to swap seats?
Yes, we should do that. Alrighty.
Yeah. Now I'm in my non-height adjustable seat. And you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, these seats take a little bit of readjusting. I don't know. You hate the seats more than I do, but there's still something.
Yeah. That's my number one complaint of this car. Is the seats are just not. Also, just to notice, because we idle a lot, we're going to be less in the electric driving mode right now, and we're out in kind of the countryside. So within the city, you would hear less of the engine noise you hear right now, right? But what do you think of the noise levels in general?
It's not the quietest car, but it's also not the loudest car. There is some road noise on the highway, I noticed.
Yeah, the tires do get a bit noisy.
Wind noise is medium, I would say.
I would say I agree. It's kind of like on par with what you expect in this segment. I mean, we're not really in the premium segments here, right? We're on the upper end of the regular cars, I guess. But what is nice within the city, I think, is when you're driving electrically, except for the that the car does to warn people that there's actually a moving vehicle on the road. That's a sporty cutting the road. It is very nice and quiet. It is very nice and smooth. There we go.
And as we usually talk about here, the brakes are nice on this vehicle.
God, Honda still has the best bend.
Smooth.
Like, the best and most smoothest brake tuning in the industry. Never stop doing them like you're doing right now. They're amazing.
They may be confused about the aesthetics, but they're not confused about the brakes.
Yeah, right? Brakes is like, that's Honda. Honda, we do brakes. Speaking of more car driving though, that car in the car review, wow, that's revolutionary. Speak about that. What I meant is suspension. I think we're a little bit split on that. I am pretty content with how this rides. It is still a sedan, so some harsher bumps, just it doesn't have the travel in the suspension to absorb those. But especially now over smooth pavement,
it's nice.
It's very nice. It kind of floats. There's a bit of movement and vibrations.
But once we get to those Toronto potholes, I kind of start feeling it in my butt as the driver.
Yeah, the seat doesn't cushion that impact really a lot, and the suspension can't really cope with it as much. But yeah, I think the body control itself, so if there's any bigger vibrations or bigger bumps, especially on the highway when they're built like in segments, right, with like very rhythmic bumps, I think the Accord actually handles those very, very well.
Tech, I was just going to mention, I'm doing.
Oh, you're doing
I
it
have
right
lane
now,
keep
yeah.
assist on right now. Again, you have to keep your hands on the wheel.
Exactly.
But it does, as Honda does, it does a solid job, as usual.
Yeah, it's a great system. Just like the CR-V and the Pilot, we tested it. Even when you're driving across an intersection, it'll kind of reacquire the lanes on the other side very quickly. And it just works well. Adaptive cruise control, we have
works as well.
braking.
We're not going to use that right now because we're not really in a...
Yeah, no one's here.
Yeah.
But no, the tech suit, now it's complaining.
So it doesn't. So even if you have your fingers here, it's not enough. You need to kind of wrap your hand around the wheel.
But unlike, for example, in a Ford or so, you don't have to like wiggle the wheel, which is nice. So just put your hand on the steering wheel, right? And that's all fine. Tech-wise, honestly, I have no complaints.
Yeah.
Except for our Sirius XM missing. But other than that, which already brings us to the conclusion. So, as spec, top trim, Honda Accord Hybrid clocks in at $47,190.40 Canadian. What do we make of that?
I mean, competitor-wise, there's not a whole lot of competition.
Yeah, like almost all the sedans are dead, right? And we didn't drive the Camry, so Toyota, give us a car.
Toyota doesn't like us.
Yeah, they don't like us apparently. But comparing it to the previous generation Honda Accord, which was about $600 less. So I think that's, compared to itself, it's a great step up.
Yeah.
You get so much more, you get a lot more of a nicer interior. That is really nice. Compared to what's out on the market, it's just the sedan segment is in a weird spot. Hybrid sedans are a bit of a niche. I feel like we're going to get more competitors there in the coming years, hopefully, because it's very nice to have 5 liters per 100 kilometers. But I don't think there's anything wrong with the price. I wouldn't say it's overpriced. It's not a bargain per se, but it is kind of in line with what you expect, and the fuel savings will pay for a lot, especially if you drive a lot within the city. You will make a lot of money. Well,
if you specifically want a sedan and you want a hybrid, this vehicle makes sense.
yeah. If you're an Uber driver.
If you want to open up your possibilities to SUVs and crossovers, then you have a lot more options for similar price range.
Yes, exactly. So would I recommend the Accord if somebody comes to me and says 47,000, what do I get?
I don't think so, personally.
No. There's just I think I would even tell them get a CR-V over this.
I'd say
Which obviously you don't have the hybrid advantage in this. I mean, what you can also get is plug-in hybrids from the likes of Hyundai, Kia,
yeah,
and so on. So, which is something that unfortunately Honda is still lacking. They don't have a plug-in hybrid, which would be nice. Like a CR-V plug-in hybrid would be very great.
Would be nice.
Very nice. But yeah, the Accord is an absolutely fantastic product. I'm sure it will sell a lot of units because there is nothing wrong with it. And if you want a sedan, and if you want one that is not driving you crazy in terms of fuel economy,
this is your only option, basically.
this is pretty much the only option. And I think it is, well, the Camry hybrid, but like I said, Toyota gives a car. But this is a nice car. I like it, except for, I gotta say this, I couldn't own this car. The seats are too bad. The seats are bad enough for me I cannot own this car. So test it out before you buy it. Go and extend a test drive because I'm in pain every time I drive this. Well, that being said, let's send it once more.
ECVT, baby.
Fake shift. Use your coat paddles. Oh yeah, I don't think that even did anything.
That didn't do anything.
So yeah, you have paddle shifters so you can shift the non-existing gears. That's why I call them coat paddles. Thank you so much for watching.
And as always, we are dropping a new video every single week. So if you enjoyed it, tune in because we'd love to have you back.
Exactly. So like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
2023
Honda
Accord Hybrid.
Hybrid.
We're finishing each other's sentences.
That's cute.
Aww.
That's an outtake.
It's going according to plan. Ooh. No comment.
What do you call a traffic jam full of Hondas? An accordion.
Oh my god. Stupid.